Hi there, it's Lennart Östman here again with another in-depth tutorial of Fractal Architect 3D, and this time I would like to talk a little bit about the color gradient editor. Let's find something interesting that we could work with. I put some colors too. Make a first quick spin here on those digital dices. Let's choose this one. That could be interesting. Yep. The first thing we do is double click it and open it in a preview window, and from here we can reach the color gradient editor. You have the color gradient here. You can see that you have only 3 color stops now, and if you want to find another color gradient for this fractal, you could click the roll dice here to have it completely randomized. You could make your own. But the first thing I usually do is click this plus here to save the color gradient that I already have, so I can always go back to that. I could go back to that just by exiting the color editor without applying to previews and others. But if I want to go back to this one and change a color or something, it's good to have it here. Let's try some random colors first and see if we can find something. You can see that there are a lot of color stops here. That's one with a little fewer. Could have many times you have to click this roll dice button a lot of times before you find something that you really like. I usually don't have that patience, so I make my own, and I decide I don't want as many color stubs. Let's try 8, and we can have different color schemes here. Split complementary, let's try that one, and we want some random colors. Go for it. There. What can we do with this now? Well, you could of course edit the colors by hand. Make this one red instead. Said make this one red instead. Now it took it like that. And you could move them colors, that red color. In this gradients, I move it down in the list. I can scramble the list. You see, I get them in a different order there. I can click these candy stripes and get them very defined like this. You don't have any gradient between the colors. And I can use this menu to do a number of things with it. I can rotate the colors. Interesting. Why does it do that? These turn blue and all the others are red. Ah, alright. It has made them 255 colors. I don't want that. Let's make a new one. Now we have 7. I can rotate them. Now you can see that they do rotate. And can use these arrows too to find something that looks good. I can, from this menu, also change the hue like this, or the saturation, or the brightness, or the contrast. I can change the amount of red like this, or green and blue. I can blur the colors. I can change the frequency. That's a very handy function. Then the color gradient I have made here will repeat itself, and that means that you get more colors in the little details here in these fractal shapes. You can see that. Well, those squares almost disappeared there, but those little shapes here aren't very clear. Let's make a quick look and see them in a little bit bigger scale. These round circles here are the same color as the square they are within. And if I set this frequency to 3, you can see that they are not the same color anymore. Squares are blue and the circles are red. No, they're not. They're still blue. They don't do as I tell them. Well, anyway, you get more colors in little details, and that's the same as using 255 color nodes in the variants editor. I usually don't do that because in my eyes that's too much colors. But if you can just a few notch of this frequency, you could get good results. If you rotate this now like this, you can't go back and make the frequency smaller again. So when you have set this and you go and choose another option here, it's set. Here you have buttons to invert the colors or reverse them like this. And you can change the flame background color here, and you could manually change the red, green and blue here. For this location 19. That's the selected color stop there. Let's make another one. That one didn't turn out too good, did it? And we try to increase the frequency on this one. Like that. I can save that one and have it saved there. I can go back to the first one I had and back to this one. If I use this load and save, I save all the color gradients that I have saved in this gradient stash here, temporary gradient stash. So I can set up a lot of color gradients like this. And I can have my favorite sets of color gradients and save them here like this. And then I can save them and can draw them back in again. I can give my gradient a name if I want to. Another useful feature here, let's choose this color gradients here. And if I want to see how one of these would look with this gradient, I can just take it like this and drag it to the fractal that I want to apply it to. Now this fractal uses this color gradient here. Or maybe that one. No, didn't follow. Like that. When you spin the dices again, this fractal, this color gradient will not be here, because these color gradients will be randomized again. But if I do like this, let's take this one and drag it to that one, and I click the open variance editor and deselect camera and color gradient. Make the window a little bigger, and I can change some parameters, variation weights and variation parameters. I roll the dice. Now they use this gradient, all of these random variants. So if I find a good color gradient that I like to apply, I can just drag it to an fractal and make variants of it, and all the variants will have that color gradient. Another handy feature, if I have these fractals here and I want to make variants of another fractal, this one, I can drag it here and I will get a new set of variants of this fractal that I just dragged here without opening a new variants editor window. And I can just keep on finding interesting stuff and making variants of it to find something even more interesting. Like this.